Welcome to SNG. We're back on the Panhead. One of the first things that I did once I got it and started tearing it apart was I rebuilt this Linkert carburetor. It has a Linkert model M74B carburetor, and rebuilt it. Hopefully it's been sitting here for months now. So I put it on yesterday. So I figured I would go over what I did, some things I didn't want to do, but thought, what the hell, I'm going to do it anyhow. So I'll turn this thing around and see what's going on. Hopefully you can see this well. This is an all brass bodied carburetor, and it was built by the Camp Linkert Carburetor Company, and they were out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And later they changed they were known as the L&L Company, and affectionately referred to as this type of carburetor as the Linkert carburetor. And it is I think it's a masterpiece. It's really cool. It's a all brass body used on Harleys from 19 overhead valves anyhow, and they've had a lot of different models. This is the M model here. This was used on overhead valve motorcycles from 1933 to 1965. So a long running with Harley Davidson. And since this, they've had multiple different carburetors from Bendix to Tillotson, the CV carburetor, and probably many more that I'm not familiar with. But it's a great carburetor. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did. Is when I rebuilt this, first of all, it's a 4-bolt carburetor, so it bolts onto the back manifold. That you can watch the videos on those with 4 bolts. It has a spacer that I'll try to actually see if I can. So back in here, there's about a 1/4-inch spacer, and that pulls that carburetor this way toward the outside of the bike, and allows this arm, which is your actual throttle, moves your throttle flap inside, that increases more vacuum from your pistons going up and down and draws more fuel in. But this some of the things that I've done prior, this is one of the first things I did when I got the bike is rebuild it. You want to make sure that when this is all the way opened, that your flap, and I'll show you inside, is all the way open. And you also want to make sure that it's fully closed. So I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to show you what I did. And maybe some people can tell me. One thing I did do that I probably, I know that this bolt here was flipped around, and the head of this bolt was on the other side. The stud stuck through, had a nut on it, and this was in the way of this. So whether the manifold was a little different, whether there was a bigger spacer, which I don't see in the book, it was easy for me to just flip it around. That way I have plenty of space. So that's what I did there. If anybody knows of anything else I should have done, let me know. So you saw me with the throttle, and this is, you can see this coming in and out. As it comes out, you're opening the carb. It's a push to open style carburetor. And what you want to do is spin this around, and you have a set screw. This wire will slide through like this, and then you'll tighten this down. And what you want, I want this, you can see a little bit of movement there. I want to make sure that when I close my grip off that it pulls this flap all the way shut. So to do that, I'll go ahead and shut, which is making it shorter all the way in. And instead of, a lot of times you can push it and then you tighten this up and then you still have a little bit of slack. So a little trick to save yourself some time is push this over as far as you can and take your throttle and open it just a little bit. Maybe just bring this in, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, and maybe like right there. And then I'll tighten this down. And what that'll do for me is it gives me, when I pull it, I'm able to pull it tight. So now I don't have any flap. So that's that's a good thing. So that is where I want it to be. And I'll cinch this up. Okay. So that's that. So then when I spin my throttle, there's all the way open, and it should be all the way open. And it was, I do have a little bit there. I probably pushed it in a little too much, because when I open it, I still have a little bit more I can open. And I do want to make sure it opens all the way too, because the difference will, it'll make a difference. So that's how you set that up. And I'll do that again. I'll pull this back. Just a little bit. Push this way. Make sure it can't go any farther this way. Open it all the way this way. Make sure it can't go back. So right now I have no slop that way. And when I close it, I have no slop that way. That's how you want it set up. Now I'm going to also show you. I'll get this set up to where you can see what's happening inside. All right, so when I took this apart to clean it, I was able to get this started up at the place I purchased it, and when I got it home and I rode it up the road and came back. So I knew the carburetor may not have been tuned perfectly, but it was tuned enough that it started. So when I took it apart and cleaned it, I counted every click until I took this. I clicked it until I seated it, and I counted the clicks that it was away from its seat, so that when I rebuilt it, I could put it back to exactly where it was when I cleaned it up and rebuilt it. So this is the pilot. This is the idle choke, or the pilot needle, and this is the power needle, or the main jet needle. So right here. And so what I wanted to show you is this is the choke. As you choke a carburetor, you're choking off the air going into it, okay? So I want to open the choke, and I want to show you inside. Okay, and if you look in, you can see the brass flap that is way in the back. So I'm going to open the throttle now, and you'll watch that open. And what I want to make sure is that this flap is exactly, that it's not like this. That's not my full open. If that's was full open, I'd want to readjust this to where I get it all the way. I want all the air I can. And then I also want the opposite. When I close it, I want no slop, like I showed you earlier in my actual throttle arm, and I want that closed. So that'll give you an idea. Down here's the bowl. This is the bowl. This is the filter. And it's a cool masterpiece. So when I put it on, I wanted to make sure it was level. I leveled up this way my intake manifold, so I know I'm level this way. And I also wanted it, as far as, from 12 to 6, properly cocked. And you have a little bit of play in your flange. Right now I've got this front end strapped down, and I'm pulling the front forks down so it looks a little bit tilted, but it's pretty straight. So there's the carburetor. So I'm tickled that I have that on, and I'm going to start. The next deal is going ahead and putting the tanks on. I think that I'll have to take the speedo back off and everything. I'll get the tanks all on, and I need to find a solo seat. I think I found one from a buddy of mine who's gonna hook me up with one. So anyhow, that's the story of the at least this Linkert carburetor. So you get a chance, and you haven't already subscribed, consider it. If you have, thank you very much. And if you want to be notified the next time I make fun of my fat bastard buddy Jones, all you have to do is smash that flower bell, and you're good to go. So enjoy your evening. Have a great weekend. I think I am going to blow out tomorrow morning, and I'm going to head to Daytona and catch some of this bike week. So enjoy your evening. See ya.